Welcome back to the channel. On today's episode, I'm going to go over my new toy, which is behind me in the boxes there. They were just delivered. My Quickjacks. All right, so first of all, we are filming this video mid-December. It is currently like 66 degrees outside. I got both bay doors open. It is beautiful. My daughter's back here with me, playing around, organizing some polishing pads for me. Say hi. So what we're gonna get to today is the Quickjacks. And the ones that I ordered are the 7000 TLX, so 7,000 pound rating on these. I'm not going to go over a whole tutorial or unboxing how to set them up because there are a ton of videos that are already out there that you can very easily find. How do I know that? Well, because I watched a bunch before these showed up. So what I want to go over after I do get them together is basically just show you how they work. Probably going to be lifting that car up, my Camaro, and just kind of go over how, as a detailer, they could be useful. So if you did notice behind me, I already have a 4-post lift. It's an Atlas, the 8,000 pound lift, and really what I'm using it for right now is storage. So I could park my C10 and my Camaro, I could stack those so I have a little bit more room in the garage. And I have used it like once or twice to detail a car. If you go back through my other videos, I had a 68 Firebird in here a few months ago, and I rolled that over into the bay and was able to clean the undercarriage of the vehicle and also, lower it down to where I could buff out the lower parts of the doors without laying on the floor. And the more I thought about it, I mean, the 4-post is very easy to move. It lowers down onto casters. You can see right here where the casters would fit in there, and you can probably see them in the back there. All right, so I was very impressed at how easy it was to move from there over to the wash bay. But like I said, I'm using it more for storage. So for me, I'd have to move both vehicles out of the way to get a customer's car on it. And I started looking more and more at the Quickjacks. And for me, these are portable. They're easy to, store off to the side, because my goal is I want to keep all of this area open for customers' vehicles that are coming in and out. We usually have at least 2 vehicles in here per day, and I don't want to clog anything up with another lift. So that was one of the reasons why I figured a Quickjack would be the best option for me. So like I mentioned, I'm not going to go over step by step after unboxing these of how to put them together, just because there are so many other resources that you could use. I don't need to add more info. It would just be repetitive. But I'm going to get these put together and get them fully functioning, show you a video of them going up and down, the initial up and down, and then we'll get to working on getting the car raised up. All right, so just a little heads up, I did just get them out of the box. If you don't have these already and you're looking into them, they do have some weight. They're close to 100 pounds a piece. I mean, I struggled myself getting them from the garage when they were delivered at my house into my truck, and then here unboxed. But they do have 2 small wheels here, and you could pick up one side, and 2 hands you could kind of roll it around. There are some other videos that I saw on YouTube, some other users of the Quickjacks that actually put casters throughout the underneath of the Quickjack setup itself. That way when you're trying to position it underneath the vehicle, you can kind of move it back and forth a little bit easier. They do have some handles that attach to it also that you can use to push and pull the Quickjacks underneath. So just something to keep in mind if you're if you have a bad back or something and you struggle moving very heavy things, this may not be a good option for you. All right, so everything is unboxed. We have the 2 lifts. We have the hydraulic pump, the lines that will be connected, all of the quick disconnects, and the lifting blocks, which my daughter thinks are what? What do you think they are? Yeah. What are they? Blocks. Blocks? What kind of blocks? Legos? Legos. She thinks they're Legos. It's all good. So the system is bled. They're moving on their own evenly. And my son just came home from school. This is Grayson. Grayson, give him a wave. and he's gonna go for a little maiden voyage, the first real lift, I should say. Here he goes. Not much weight on there, so it's going to take a little bit for him to come down, but they are slowly going.
Slowly down, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down.
Fully together, everything's connected, and really, I mean, the whole process is pretty straightforward. It's basically just putting those connectors on to the unit itself, and these connectors on, and then also right here on the valves. And that's it. I mean, maybe it took me a half hour. That's about it. A couple simple tools like wrenches, and you're done. So we're gonna move this over, get the car down, and see what it's like lifting up a vehicle. So through the miracle of time, which in this case was a few days, I've just been crazy busy, haven't had a chance to really do anything else with the lift, got it all together. Had a trial run with my son on it, and then that was about it. So it's a rainy day. Weather's a lot different than it was the other day. We went from mid 60s to like mid 30s now, and I just don't have enough room to shuffle cars around. I have a customer's Mercedes that I just finished up, and I don't want to get that outside because it's raining. The weather's horrible today. So I was able to bring my truck over. I still have my car up on the 4-post, but I have the Quickjacks set up underneath. They're on the lifting points, ready to go. So we're gonna give this a trial run and get the truck up in the air. Alright, so there is the first locking point on the lift, and as you can see, there's plenty of room for me right now to take the wheels off if I needed to. If we were going to do, you know, clean the wheel wells out, if we were doing a full detail on the wheels, or even if I'm just working on my own car, I want to rotate, or you know, if I'm doing brake work or something, this is a good height right here. So let's go up to the second one. All right, there we are, fully engaged, and that's a darn good height to buff out some lower areas of the car. I mean, I wet sanded this last year. I wet sanded and buffed it out. I didn't even have it on a lift. Just did it on the floor, and laying on the floor to do the bottom areas was quite a task. So I'm already excited just seeing this right now to work on future vehicles. One thing to keep in mind when you do set this up in your shop or in your home garage, give yourself enough room where the lift itself is going to kind of rise up, but it also kind of moves forward a little bit, so you don't want to, you know, get your car all positioned and you realize you can't close your garage door. So I don't know if you noticed that when it was raising up, but just something to keep in mind. Kind of just rolling around and getting a feel for, you know, how I'm going to be working on cars. I mean, this right now, everything is almost eye level. Maybe just a little bit of leaning down this way, but for the most part, everything's directly in front of me. I mean, this truck's lowered, so you know when it is on the ground, you're down here. So huge difference. I think it's going to make life a lot easier for me and my back, for sure. So to bring the truck back down, we just need to raise it up off the locks. There we are. And just come over here and just raise this part up, which will allow it to ride back down over the locks instead of catching onto it. We'll get this one. All right, now we're ready to come back down. Something to keep in mind when you are ordering, the entire kit comes with the medium and the tall lifting blocks, which are right there that I used. And you can stack the larger and the medium size one together on each side. But what it doesn't come with is the pinch weld blocks and the SUV and light truck adapters. And you can see those in the directions here. It talks about the lifting blocks, and then you have the pinch weld blocks, which are sold separately, and then also the truck and SUV adapters. So I actually just purchased those online, so I have those handy because I'm going to be using them on different customers' vehicles. So I want to make sure that I have every option available. These worked today on my truck, but I think actually these adapters would work even better. And something else to keep in mind, before you do go to set this up, make sure you have either hydraulic fluid or automatic transmission fluid. You'll need 2.5 quarts. I had some that was already here in the garage, but you know, something to keep in mind, something you don't want to be running out for when you're in the middle of trying to get this thing running. So I mentioned earlier about attaching the casters to move it around a little bit easier on the floor, one of those videos that I saw, when I was doing my research. So I have 2 attached up front on the outer rails, and the same thing in the back on the outer rails. And as soon as the lift actually comes up, as soon as I hit the button, the wheels are automatically off the ground, so it's nothing to worry about. It's not holding any weight of the vehicle, but it does make life a lot easier to move these around and position them into place. So before I was kind of struggling, before I put these on, I was struggling a little bit to kind of shimmy them underneath the car, and when I had these on, it was a lot easier. There's another look at the caster. I didn't use anything crazy, just some zip ties to hold them in place. And that's how they did it in the other video, and I don't see it being an issue. First impressions of the Quickjack, now that I was able to use it. Number one, the setup is crazy simple. It took me a half hour, a couple quick disconnects and you're done. And lifting the vehicle is also very simple. Just double checking, making sure you have everything lined up, and you're on your way. As a business standpoint, am I going to get a lot of use out of it? I think so. It's not going to be used on every single vehicle that comes in, but I feel like certain cars that are going to come in that the higher end cars that want wheels off, ceramic coat the whole inside of the wheel as well. I just think we're going to get a lot of use for it, and getting to the lower areas of the car, polishing and buffing wise, it's going to save my back. I'm not getting any younger, and this is definitely something that's going to help me out in the long run. And not only on the business side, but I think I'm going to get a lot of use for it on my own personal vehicles. Whether I'm doing a brake job or rotating tires or just changing oil or any little small maintenance jobs, this lift is going to be perfect for me. I also do have the 4-post lift, but like I mentioned earlier, that's more of like a storage lift for me to shove this underneath, and I just think the Quickjacks are going to be a pretty good asset to business and personal life in both cases. Alright, so that's going to do it for this episode. Hopefully this video gave you some better ideas and maybe a little more information to help you decide whether or not you want to make this purchase. So as always, thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for any future videos. We'll see you next time.